right, so I'm here with Huw Evans from Unilever. Just got done presenting at our Analyst and Media Forum. Huw, what were you talking about in there? What was kind of the main gist of your presentation?
Well, I was really trying to awaken the forum to how the CPG industry is waking up to the business value out of PLM. And basically, whilst we're not as far down the road, I guess, as some of the discrete industry, it's really becoming, gathering a lot of momentum in Unilever, certainly, and from what I see around with fellow CPG companies in theirs as well. So.
Yeah, you talked about a couple specific things that you're doing around specification management and a few other areas. How are you really, getting focused and trying to deliver value right now? Is it by those projects, or what's really driving kind of what you focus on first?
Well, I think it's going to be very much a journey to a roadmap PLM for us. I don't think it's something that we're going to start and complete in a short space of time. So it's really about focusing on our top priorities in the PLM space. So we took a decision a number of years ago now that specifications would be our initial focus, really, on an enterprise-wide scale to get visibility of our product portfolio in the market. So that's sort of where we started, and we have an enterprise-wide system interspec, essentially, with Siemens in place and maturing nicely now. So our point of focus, now we've got that in a support and maintenance phase, is to look further back into the design process, and the start of our journey there is really with CAD and our packaging function. So we're at the latter stages of a pilot we've been running on Teamcenter, having already purchased CAD as our authoring tool. And what we're now doing is shortly going to make a decision on that and hopefully start bringing in some of the systematic approaches of PLM further upstream into our design process, with packaging as the first place to start.
That's great. So you mentioned at the beginning that CPG as an industry is just kind of coming on board with PLM.
Yeah.
For other, I guess, non-discrete companies, whether they be CPG or just general process industry companies, what would you really recommend they look at as really specifically in some of the differences in how PLM might be used in discrete versus what you've found in trying to apply it in CPG? What are the areas they need to focus on?
That's a really interesting question. I don't think I have any obvious answers, but one of the characteristics I would say in the discrete industry, from my understanding, has been more the complexity of individual products that has really driven its value. The analogy I use is building a Boeing 747, the thousands of components that go into it. If you don't manage those as entirety, you don't end up with the product you want.
Right. It doesn't work.
So the complexity of an individual product, a shampoo or something, is nowhere near as complex as a 747, but when we're deploying something like a shampoo, we're deploying it globally through quite a complex SKU portfolio. Which is related but not identical. So the complexity manifests itself in a slightly different way in CPG. But equally, what you're trying to do is manage the complexity of your product into market, whether it's through the complexity of an individual product or a portfolio. I think the challenge in CPG is more with portfolio management than individual product management. But all the same rules apply.
It's great advice.